Hey all, so I just wanted to let everyone know that I do appreciate the messages that I've gotten or the comments that I've gotten um, since being post op. One thing I will say though is that unless I ask you for your opinion or your advice, please don't start sending me messages or comments about what I should be doing or what you did or things like that. This surgery that some of us trans men go through is a very difficult surgery. It's difficult physically, mentally, emotionally, like every aspect of your life is affected. As you can see, I'm extremely pale right now. I do not feel well. Um, I don't have any infections or anything. Knock on wood. It's just a matter of um, the catheter is causing me an immense amount of pain, 10 out of 10 pain. Like I've said before, I don't, like, my surgeon is in the States, and as so happens for me, things get worse towards the weekend, and my only option would be to go to the ER. And if anybody knows me, I don't do well at hospitals. Regardless of what I'm there for, I end up having mental breakdowns and should probably be put on in the psych ward more appropriately. But going to the hospital isn't an option for me as much as it is for everybody else. It doesn't bode well for me. It's not good for my mental health whatsoever, even if my physical health is not doing great. But yeah, I am trying really hard. I am doing everything that I'm supposed to be doing, and I have been in contact with my surgeon's office, and I have been talking to them. Unfortunately, it's here at home where I can't get any help. I do have the option to remove the catheter by myself, but I am not confident enough to do that, and mentally, I'm just not in a state where I feel like I can do that. I'm hoping that tomorrow I'll be able to go to the urologist that I was supposed to go see. But at this point in time, they apparently were not in the office last week. And so when I tried to call last week to, to see if I could go in, there was nobody there to take my call. And the answering machine at the hospital where their office is said that they won't be back until the 6th of November, which is tomorrow, but not to leave messages because they won't be checking them. So then I ended up calling the main urology office and said that I need a catheter removed, explained that the pain and the fact that my surgeon that I have said that I should get it removed. However, my surgeon is not in the country, and the person who was working the office said that that line was to call for emergencies only, and unless it's emergent, to wait until the urologist that I'm supposed to see returns. Um, which sucks. My doctor's office is, like I've said a bunch of times before, useless. The last time that I had them remove a catheter for me or try to was my stage 1 surgery, and they spent 40 minutes um, pulling and yanking not hard enough and doing it too slow and causing me more pain and trauma and issues than was necessary, to the point where they told me that they wanted to send me to Montreal. And I told them that Montreal Gender Reassignment Clinic is never allowed to touch my body. I do not care what anybody has to say. If you have a problem with it, that's your problem. Anyways, so then from there, they sent me to one of the hospitals in Hamilton, one that I have had terrible experiences with, and they refused to send me anywhere else. And when I got to that hospital, they put me in the ER, even though I said I'm supposed to go up to urology from here, and they're just supposed to pull my catheter so that everything can be done and over with. They told me no, and they made me sit in the ER for 5 hours. When there was a shift change, I had asked a nurse if she could call urology to see if somebody was going to come down and help me. And when she called, she apologized to me profusely and said that I was supposed to be sent up the moment that I got there and that they had been waiting 5 hours for me. So I'm not impressed with Canada's healthcare system. I haven't been in a long time, whether it's physical or mental. I'm not having a good time mentally, physically, emotionally. I'm a mess. I'm drained. I'm in 10 out of 10 pain. And for those of you who want to say, well, just go to the ER, you're not listening to me. And you're not understanding what I'm saying. And you shouldn't be telling people what to do or assuming that things are so easy for everybody else. I don't know why this time has been so trying and so difficult, but it has been. And I'm literally waiting for the morning so that I can call the urologist office at the hospital and see if I can get down there ASAP and get them to remove the catheter. If not, I'm going to contact my wound care person who I'm supposed to go see on Tuesday and see if I could pop in and have them do it for me tomorrow, because I honestly don't know what else to do. I'm literally in tears or sleeping, or like I can't move. I'm shuffling. Like, it's not okay. It's not okay at all. I can't even drive. So at the end of the day, like, if I'd have to get myself to the ER, I'd obviously have to call an ambulance and then have to pay the ambulance fee. And if you know me, you know that I am disabled and I do not have a job, and there is no income support that I can access. So at the end of the day, it's not feasible for me to do all these different things that everybody's trying to tell me to do, and it's becoming really frustrating, and it's only making this situation worse for me. So as much as I appreciate everybody trying to give their 2 cents or tell me what I should do, I really need everybody to stop, because it's not helping me out. I've been trying to deal with this when I was in Texas and I was a week post-op. Obviously, everything was still like numb, and I was taking the medications that I should and everything like that. And I still am trying to. However, the medications that I have, for some reason, they're the same ones that I've taken before, but my body has decided that they're immune to them, I guess, now. So pain is like, my pain meds are doing not much for me. Tylenol does nothing for me pretty much, except for like sometimes alleviate like if there's some inflammation of whatever. I am having a hard time because I am bloated, I am backed up, and nothing that I do is working to alleviate that, and I'm all over the map on things right now, and it's just really, really irritating to have to go through this and then have people talk to me like I'm stupid and I don't know what I should be doing or what I'm talking about, or assume that I'm not keeping in contact with surgeons or doctors or like even a therapist, because I keep on getting people to tell me to go talk to my therapist. And what a lot of you don't understand is that therapy is not free. Actually, some is free. My doctor's office has free therapy, and they denied me. So, even having 5 to 6 serious mental health diagnoses and being legally and medically declared disabled, they will not let me access that. So then I had to go find my own, and luckily, and I hate saying luckily about this, I am Indigenous. I am part Indigenous, and I have status, and I am able to get some coverage. The coverage that I get only allots me certain numbers of appointments with somebody. This also is online. The person that I speak to lives in Ottawa, and I live in Southern Ontario. Like, I live down near Toronto. So at the end of the day, it's not even like this is a person that I can go see. This isn't a person that I can just like call the office and stuff, because we do Zoom chats, or like it's like Zoom, but it's a different platform or whatever. Sorry, like I'm gassy but not gassy, and like it's just, honestly, I would not wish any of this on my worst enemy. I would not wish this. The feelings that I am feeling, I would not wish on anybody. And like, I have talked to my therapist about it, but another thing is that with my therapist, when I was out of the country, if I leave the country, if I am outside of Canada, I'm almost pretty sure that, like, if I'm even outside of Ontario, not 100% sure, but like, I am not allowed to talk to my therapist. I am not allowed to call them. They are not allowed to help me. So at the end of the day, not everybody has the money to be able to get a therapist that they can call or contact whenever they have an issue or feel like they need to talk or whatever. I'm not in that position. I'm in a position where I have a small amount of allotted appointments that I can book or that I can do whatever with. And if I use all those up, then I'm screwed. So I'm in a place where I'm lucky that I do have that sort of access, but I also had to go find my own therapist online, which I know a lot of people do. But you try finding somebody who you can talk to, who is Indigenous, trans, and understanding of mental health and being part of different minorities and going through medical procedures and things like that, and just like other basic mental health stuff. You try finding somebody. I had 3 options to choose from in all of Canada. 3 options. So I am very much so asking that everybody kind of like just think before you open your mouth, because you aren't going through this, okay? You may have gone through phalloplasty or metoidioplasty, and I do very much value what you have gone through and your opinions, and I love talking to you. But when myself, other people, even yourself, are going through something so, I'm gonna say traumatic, it's fucking traumatic. When you're going through something like this, it does not help to have everybody trying to tell you what you're supposed to do or who you're supposed to, my surgeon is different than other people's surgeons. I go to the Crane Center. There are a couple different surgeons that work at the Crane Center. So whatever one surgeon that works there says is going to be very close to what the other one says, because they work within the same center. But not all of our surgeons do the same things. They don't do the same techniques. They don't do the same this and that. Like, honestly, I get it, where it's the easiest thing to do is to talk to each other, but sometimes y'all really just get too carried away to the point where you make people doubt themselves. And I know you're not doing it on purpose, but sometimes wait for somebody to ask you the question. And if you've not been through any of this, especially if you are not trans, please don't even suggest anything, because you don't know. And this is so difficult. I have cried. I have wished that I could just disappear. I have been through so much. I don't need any more of it. I'm having a rough time. I'm admitting it. I'm telling everybody the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm putting everything out there for everyone so that you can see that not everybody just goes through 3 surgeries. That's actually very rare. It's very rare that anybody goes through 3 surgeries. It's very rare that nobody even has a minor complication. Not one single person has had a perfect surgery where nothing has gone wrong. And if somebody tries to tell you that, they are full of poo-poo. Okay? So just because I've had complications doesn't mean that my surgeon's terrible. It doesn't mean that anything is wrong with me or whatever, because for the most part, after these things get fixed, things are a lot better, and it's actually how it's supposed to be. So, if you are not educated enough, please don't speak. Just please don't. You're not doing anybody any favors. You are not doing me any favors. Sorry. But at the end of the day, I'm just trying to say, like, there are people like me out there who are willing to share the good, the bad, and the ugly. So please don't come at us like you feel like you're superior because either you think you know better or you've already gone through your surgery, so you think you know everything. You don't. Okay? You know what you went through. I know what I'm going through. Same as when I talk to other people. I talk to them. If they want to hear what I have to say, they want to hear what I have to say. If they don't, then I'm not going to say anything. If they don't ask me, I'm not going to say anything. You know, it's a matter of you can be empathetic without having to try to say that somebody should do something. And being a trans person, we've been told all of our lives what to do. And it's not okay. And it's enough. Enough is enough. I'm getting very tired. I'm getting very annoyed. And to be honest, a lot of the mental health issues are coming from not having the proper care, not being heard, being ignored by society, being left to your own devices, and not just generally not being treated like a human being. It really is. Just those basic things. Like, one thing I will say, let's think about this. Think about it in this sense. You watch a movie. The movie is sad. Somebody is sick and dies, or somebody has mental health issues and they take their own life. And you feel sad. And a lot of people will cry about it. And that's normal, because I do that. But do you know what really, really hurts? When you are somebody who goes through those same experiences, but not one person around you has that same reaction that they had to watching a fake character. It might say, based on true events, but most of the time in your life, you are sitting next to somebody who is suffering, who could be gone in an instant because things are too much. And just take a minute to sit there and think about the fact that if you have somebody in your life who is sick with whatever it may be, or has mental health issues that cause them to be suicidal, take a moment and sit there and think about how that would make you feel. Have you ever spent one moment, one day, where you really, really, honestly, not the, oh my God, I've had such a bad day, I want to go jump off a bridge. No. Have you ever had a day where you seriously, in your head, said, I want to die? Have you? Majority of you have not had that real, honest thing stick in your brain. And most of us that experience it isn't one day. Most of us, it's every day. So just think about the fact that next time that you are talking to somebody who has mental health issues that could be as detrimental as them taking their own lives, when you think about things and when you express your empathy and stuff like that, the way you do is fine. Cry during a movie, I do it. But if you cannot have the same empathy for the real life person that is sitting next to you that you are either friends with or you love them or they are a loved one of yours, and you can't do that, you need some readjusting. And that is one thing that I will say as well. Other people should have to go to therapy too. Okay? It's not just the people like me that are upset or have these diagnoses. Regular everyday people should have to readjust their mindsets as well. Because do you know how much it hurts to sit next to somebody who is a friend or a family member and watch a movie with them and have them bawl their face off or be so affected by a made-up character that was written by somebody else, and you're sitting right next to them. Do you know how bad that hurts? At the end of the day, this video is me just trying to, like, I'm trying to open up to people. Nobody wants to talk about trans male health in the media or in the medical profession, especially in Canada. I have messaged and asked and begged and pleaded for anybody who has a platform or a resource or interviewing. I don't care. I have asked and begged. And do you know what my response is? Nobody's interested in the trans male experience. Or, it's about trans women right now, not trans men. Or just the blatant, nobody really cares. Even when asking about why surgeons in Canada aren't being trained on certain skills so that we have more options or that we have better skills. Do you know what the answer is? You're probably gonna sit there and think that I'm fucking making it up, but I am telling you that I've gotten emails back to me saying that no one is interested. How would that make you feel? I don't even know how to end this video because I just can't wrap my head around how things are, how people are. I cannot. It's really upsetting and it's really frustrating, and to blatantly, as a person who is a trans man, being told that nobody pretty much gives a fart about you or your healthcare or to know what you experience or know the fact that trans male bottom surgery is far more difficult and far more in-depth than trans women bottom surgery is. I am not trying to come at trans women, by the way, so please don't mistake this. All I'm saying is that there is a big difference, and the skill level, the accessibility, and the aftercare is not there for trans men. And do you know why nobody speaks up about it? Because when we bring it up, we get shut down. When we speak up, we get told that it's just not right now. Do you know how many times I've been told that? It's very, very dehumanizing to go through this. And honestly, I just wish people would take the time to either try to pay attention and understand, or just don't say anything at all. You know what I mean? Because I don't need your 2 cents. I don't. You're gonna give it anyways because it's your right to say whatever you want. But at the end of the day, I don't understand. I just don't. And I'm literally this whole experience has put me at my wit's end of trying to understand people, of trying to understand why things are the way they are. And to be honest, this world, this society has no logic to it whatsoever. Trying to be logical in today's society is just pointless. It really is. It just drives you up the wall. It just drives you up the wall. I shouldn't have to beg to be treated like a human being. I shouldn't have to be left alone to try to figure things out on my own. I shouldn't have to be told that no one cares. I shouldn't be told that no one cares. But that's what it's like, and it's really unfortunate. And I know that in other countries, in other areas, it is worse. But I can't speak on that because that's not my reality. I'm speaking on my reality. And to be honest, the reality fucking sucks shit. And I'm sick of it. I cannot wait for this surgery to be over. I am so Like, I'm so glad that I did it. Obviously, the feelings that I have right now, I feel like shit, so I feel like shit. But at the end of the day, I will be so happy when all this is over and I can just live my life, because it's been 2.5 years since I've been able to have a normal life because my healthcare has just not been taken seriously. Like, I've made a video before where last February I found out I had a bladder stone. I had a bladder stone for almost a year that ended up being the size of like a duck or a goose egg, which is very large, and it was pretty much creating a cap over my the like where my bladder drains into like my urethra for me to pee out of, right? So now with this catheter and with what's going on with my surgery pains, like the catheter pains being backed up, blocked up, all that, I am literally experiencing that exact same thing all over again, and it's so traumatizing because I spent a year with a bladder stone because my doctors here in Canada, a general practitioner doctor, did nothing more than send me to pee in a cup and then tell me that apparently I had a UTI, when all along I had a growing bladder stone that they didn't even check into, and I had to be found by a surgeon in Austin, Texas. Tell me how a Canadian has to go to the US just to find out that they have a fucking bladder stone. And then that surgery that was supposed to be done had to only be half done because I had to come back and get that removed, and then a couple months later go back to Austin, Texas to get part of my surgery done again. It's not okay. It's not. And you can sit there and say, well, this happens here, or this happens, this happens. You know what? I'm sorry, that's not happening to me right now. And I am fighting for people like me, because at the end of the day, trans healthcare for trans men, especially the mental health care side too. Oh, you're a guy now, you're just supposed to sit there and suck it up. Or you're a guy now, you're just supposed to sit there and shut your mouth because you have privilege. Oh, so because I have a visible beard, I have privilege. You don't walk in my shoes, you don't walk in my life, you are nowhere near where I am. You have no idea if I experience privilege, and whether that privilege is based on my visual appearance or whether it's based on just other people or whatever it may be. But at the end of the day, I grew up raised female for about 25 years of my life, where I had no privilege, where I had to shut my mouth and keep my mouth shut and not argue anybody and be quiet about what was going on with me, to hide being gay because it might not be okay, and then to hide being trans because it's not okay. Now I am a trans male and I am supposed to shut my fucking mouth because I'm a man now. So after 25 years of being silenced, I'm being silenced again because of my outward appearance, which I do understand, don't get me wrong. But at the end of the day, this whole gender bullshit needs to knock it off, because there are people who deserve to have the right to speak up for themselves. Trans men deserve the right to speak up for ourselves, because we had a lifetime of having to shut our fucking mouths and listen to everybody else. Just because I have a beard and you can see it doesn't mean that I have privilege like a cisgender born male does. So please, if you are going to put in your 2 cents, or if you are going to try to help out or talk to or whatever with a trans friend, family member, or whatever, please remember your privilege. Please remember the fact that maybe you've never been trans and you've never had to go through this. Maybe you've never been queer. Maybe you've been cis heterosexual your whole life, and that's great. And I'm not saying that you're not struggling, and I'm not saying that you don't struggle, but try adding extra things on top of what everyday life is. You want me to make you a list of all the things? No. Bite me, okay? Bite me. I'm tired of having to defend myself. I'm tired of having to make excuses for myself because I am trying to fight for my fucking life. And if you think that I'm not fighting for my life every single day, regardless of if I've had a surgery or not, that's a you problem. Because I fight every day to be alive. I fight every day to be a husband to my wife. I fight every day to be a father to my son. And these last 2 years have taken 2.5 years have taken a large chunk of my life away from me. I have missed so much of my son's life. He turns 5 next month. And I have missed so much due to not being cared for properly by the medical industry, by not being taken seriously, and by not being given the things that are basic needs. I know this video is all over the place. I know I said I wanted to make a mental health video where I was going to be more together about it, but you know what? I can't be. I can't because I'm not together about it. There's been so much going on, and I've had so much trauma going on lately that I cannot. So you're gonna get what you get, because this is my channel, not yours. Trixie, Katya, hearts. But yeah, I'm tired of censoring myself. I'm tired of being the nice guy who walks around and says hello to everybody, holds the door, is really, like, I'm still gonna do those things, obviously, but it's a matter of y'all don't know me whatsoever. I barely leave my house because I'm agoraphobic. When I do things, it's because I push myself to do things for other people, because I have made a promise to other people. Other people mainly are the trans or queer community. So I've made a promise to people that are going through things like me. So that's why I'm out there. I freak out all the time before every single time that I leave my front door. I have a breakdown every single time before I leave my house. But I push myself to show up for what's important and what I think is important. And if nobody else can see that, and if you think that I'm just a lazy fucking liar, don't have time for it anymore. I don't. When I can barely leave my own damn house, you do not get to say a word to me. You do not get to tell me how to live my life. You do not get to tell me what I should and shouldn't be doing. You do not tell me that I need to go see a therapist, because I already am. And you don't know how hard it is to get one, especially when you are so low income that it's not even funny. If I did not have the family that I have, I would not be alive. If I had to solely rely on friends, I would be dead. If I had to solely rely on the care of medical professionals and other things like that, I would be dead. If I didn't have the family that I have that has helped me out and supported me through this, I would be dead. And you know what's sad? When people say that, when I say that, I can see your eyes rolling. I can see the judgment. I can see you doubting me. And I don't need that. I don't need it at all. I doubt myself enough every fucking day. And I'm sitting here in front of you talking to you like a human being. And the least you could do is treat me like one. The least you could do is treat other people like human beings. It is not that hard. Trans and queer people treat everybody else like human beings every goddamn day. Okay? Why is it so hard? I don't understand it. But honestly, if you think that you know me in any way, shape, or form, and you don't believe anything that I've said here, if you don't believe that I have been suicidal since like the age of maybe 12, that's really unfortunate, because that just means that you clearly aren't someone who knew me at all. If you think that my life, like I have a son, I have a wife, I have pets, I have a roof over my head, and I have food, but that doesn't change what happens mentally. And if for some reason you choose to think that everything that I am saying is just a load of BS, get off my channel, don't talk to me anymore, go away. Do not discredit anyone when they are being completely honest with you, when they are sharing their heart and soul, their trauma, their biggest fears, their worries, and the fact that they want to take their own life on a regular basis. Be more empathetic, be more understanding, see things from the other side of the table. Because if you don't, you're gonna lose people, and then you're gonna sit there and say, I wish they said something. And what I have to say to that is, you were never listening. And I've lost people too, and I've sat there and I said, I wish, I blah, 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 whatever. You know, I've done that too. And I'm not blaming you for it, because I don't blame myself for somebody else taking their life. But if you are going to sit there and ignore people when they need you, or act like it's nothing, you have no right to say you wish they spoke up, because I can guarantee you that they spoke up. What I hope from this video is that my honesty about myself opens some eyes to other people and makes them understand. And maybe you could be a little bit more empathetic, or maybe you could understand certain types of people a little bit more. Maybe this video is just for me to be able to put it out there, because I'm going through a lot right now. Whatever it may be, this video has a purpose and is valid. And I'm tired of being told to shut my mouth and just deal with it. I'm tired. So check in on your friends that aren't okay. Listen to people that tell you that they're not okay. When something someone else experiences is different from what you experience on a regular basis, don't just say, well, I don't know what that's like. Must be nice. You could find other words. You could give them a hug. There are many things that you could do to try to help somebody besides just pass the buck and be like, well, I don't know. I'm not trans, so I don't know. Sorry about that. Not acceptable. Not acceptable whatsoever. This has been a TED Talk by Cohen about not being a dick, and about mental health, about trans male healthcare. Trans female healthcare is also very important and these should be equally important. Healthcare in general should be important regardless of who you are. But there are areas where things start to really teeter down and become very unequal and very unfair, and this is important. So if there's anybody out there who's watching my videos that happens to have any leeway into, or actually does interviews themselves, or is in the medical healthcare profession and would like to actually talk to a trans man, I am fully open, as you have seen on this channel. The only thing I have not shared is pictures of my surgical area, which I refuse to do unless I am doing it for an educational purpose in which it will be used respectively. My surgeons are the only ones who have access to pictures that are allowed to share my pictures. So at the end of the day, also, if anybody out there has the capacity to be able to help educate people or bring light to things, I am fully willing, and I have been out there begging, pleading, asking, and trying with no regard. maybe one of you could be somebody that makes that happen. Maybe one of you could be somebody who brings things to light. I don't know. All I do know is it's not okay to just leave people to sit in pain and agony and trauma and the unknown and struggle through mental health issues. And then we turn around and wonder why so many people are taking their own lives, or why so many people are on drugs, or both. Is it really that hard to understand? I don't think it is. Neglect leads to you neglecting yourself so that you don't have to deal with what you're going through. It's not rocket science. I hope this makes everybody think a little bit harder. I know this video is long. I actually had no intention on making this video this long. This was actually supposed to be a 2-minute video, and now it's a 42-minute video. But it needed to happen. And I guess I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.